All right, and welcome to Everyone's a Critic. I'm your host, Johnny Gill, with my co-host, Sean Ellis. Sean, say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody?
All right, episode 267. We're going to recap week 5. We had some great games tonight. No blowouts. We had a semi-blowout, but not really.
Not really.
So, that's always a good night for Sean. Sean's happy. We have competitive basketball here in Cypress.
I sleep well tonight.
All righty. All right, so let's run down the scores. We had light work over the Bullets, 95-87. We had Crunch All-Stars got the win, 97-81 over Mo and Friends. Who's Your Daddy over Hip Hop and Roll, 111-108 in the overtime thriller. And then our final game of the night, Chances over Top Dogs, 80-71. Really good competitive games, though. So I was pretty happy. Even the Mo and Friends game it got to a 6-point lead in the fourth quarter. So it was very dicey at times. So that's always good. Now for our 3 in the key, we're gonna highlight the top 2 teams. For me, Sean, I gotta say Who's Your Daddy? Who's Your Daddy? They looked really good. That was probably the game of the night.
Yeah.
Overtime game.
Unbelievable game.
Who's Your Daddy? Pretty much led the whole game. Hip Hop and Roll fought all the way back, took the lead in the fourth, and then went to overtime. I think honestly, when the game went to overtime, I felt like Hip Hop and Roll kind of hung their head a little bit because they lost the lead that they fought so hard to get back. But they really, to me, they shouldn't have, because you guys were down by 13.
Yeah, and I think it got to as high as 16.
Yeah.
And like you said, they were up 103-101, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, that's right.
And then, Who's Your Daddy went in and got a possession and was able to score, and unfortunately tied the game, and it goes into overtime. Bradley George, man, he's a difference maker because, like I said, he's not loud with his game, right?
I don't even know how he said he don't know how he got the 30-point triple-double last week.
You were right. He's not very loud with his game, man, but he just but you notice, as many guys they got that can score on the team. Brandon Irvin had a really good game through 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
But did you see who had the ball in his hand throughout the fourth quarter and overtime, especially when they lost the lead?
Yeah.
Bradley George had the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
And he made all the plays. He created.
Hit the first 2 shots in overtime.
Regained the lead for him. He was the go-to guy, and the ball was in his hand the whole time in that fourth quarter. Especially once they lost the lead and in that overtime.
And he took the lead. I mean, he made the layup to tie the game.
And so he's kind of like we know Brandon Irvin can score, but their finisher is definitely Bradley George. So him being here is huge for them. And like without him today, they probably not only they lose that lead today, they probably lose that game without him. So it was huge for them. Kind of how that game ended up playing out the way it did. But like we'll get to Lightfoot in a minute. But him and Chase, like man, they
willed them back.
They willed them back, and like I said, they were down. I want to say starting the quarter down 10. Mm-hmm. Like I said, got up to 13 in that fourth quarter, and then also I literally left the gym.
Yep.
Came back in the gym. I think I saw Larry and his dad, and I was like, "It's a 2-point game."
Yeah.
They was like, "Yeah." Then I came back and left the gym again. Came back, and then all of a sudden, Hip Hop Bro had the lead. I was like, "How?"
Yeah, it was a combination of Lightfoot, Chase. And then they were featuring Randy.
Yeah,
Randy had like 6 or 8 points down the stretch.
Yeah,
wow. all tough layups. He missed one. I know he's probably kicking himself about that one that he missed. He had 3 offensive rebounds and just missed tip. And I knew it was like short arm. And then that last one got tipped out. I was like, yeah, that one's gonna hurt, because who knows? You make that layup, then like you said, they come down, then they take the lead by 2, so they could have probably stretched the lead to 4.
Yeah. So,
but it's a game of possession. You never know. I think no, because they got a steal immediately after that. But still, you make the shot, you're up 2, get a steal. Who knows what happens after that?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a tough situation for them. But I mean, again, I thought they hung their head off them losing that lead in overtime, but they didn't realize that they fought all the way back. I would have felt good knowing I was down by double digits, forcing the game to overtime, even though I had a lead. I would have felt confident enough to be like, okay, hey guys, we're good. It's a brand new game, so let's just lock in. There was a lot of mishaps. I thought DJ had a good contest on Bradley. I know he hit a tough shot, but that first one that he hit, nobody was on him.
Nobody was on him.
So I'm like, how do you leave Bradley George in the mid range?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Nah, man, it was an excellent. It was a well played game, man. And it kind of End up being like just a good game, and then end up being a great game, or one of the better games that we've had this season. Definitely in the top 3 right now. So
Absolutely.
like I said, shout out to both teams, man, and like I said, shout out to who's your daddy, you know what I'm saying? Because they had some issues, they definitely fight through that, um, going out throughout this weekend. You know, they kind of show some perseverance, and we'll see what type of team that hip hop and roll turns into after this too. They've taken a couple of bumps now, to some good teams now, and it's weird because our 2 finalists from last season both 2-3 right now.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
I did not see that coming. So we're definitely gonna see what type of team they turn out to be.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of one of our finalists, you had them highlighted. Lightwork, another win for them, 2 wins in a row.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from that game?
Man,
Took down the Bullets.
They took. Let's say so. The Bulls are undefeated, and they went in there and took down the Bullets, an undefeated team, and now they're starting to make me feel like this is the light work that I thought they were going to be coming into the season. And wire to wire, it was back and forth a lot, but down the stretch, man, they had a run in the 4th quarter that put them up 8-9 points.
Yeah,
and they just never looked back after that. It was weird. Steve's Alex is Alex, of course.
Yeah.
And like I said, when Alex started hitting that jump shot, I think he hit like 3 threes today.
He's tough.
And then the 4th quarter, he had a thunderous dunk off the baseline where he swoops again. Somebody reaches, swims through, gets to a hole, one step off the left foot, bang, and just pretty much it's a thunderous dunk, and it kind of takes the life out of you. Takes the life out of the gym. And again, the Bulls made a valiant effort to kind of get back in the game.
Cut it to 3.
Over
at the end.
But they couldn't get enough stops. Just like I say, Alex, Steve's, like I said, he was just, I want to say, I don't know, we'll probably, it's probably pulling them down, but he probably made 8 or 9 threes. It's like, guys, stop going on the screen against him. Stop it.
Why y'all still doing this?
Why are you still doing it? Now, the Reese scout report. Stop going under the screen on him.
It's only one guy who does scout reports.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But yeah, it just like when those guys got going, it was a complete Worm school should be proud because it was a complete team win. Tyrus had some huge shots that he made and rebounds.
Offensive rebounds were big, yeah.
Yeah, like I say, school had about 4 points, about 6-7 rebounds. Like everybody did something to help them win this game today. It was complete, as good, besides the Crunch All-Stars, it was as good as a team win as anybody's had all season. Literally everybody did something. It was a big part of the win today. It was amazing kind of watching them kind of do the things they do. And like I said, the Bullets ran to a team that played probably their best game of the season.
Yeah.
And like I said, and the Bullets got to realize that, hey, we're 4-0, we're 3-0. That's gonna, teams are gonna play their best games against us. Like I said, I don't think the Bulls play a bad game per se, but they play a team that played a really, really, really good game. And they're a championship finalist from season before, so they're figuring this stuff out. So I really enjoyed that game, man. I really, really did. Shout out to them.
Okay, now time for our in their bag segment. We had a couple guys we could have chose from the night, but we narrowed it down to 2. For me, I gotta say Ellis.
Yeah, man.
Ellis was in his bag. Rashawn, shame on you.
Stop talking to him
for poking the bear.
Yeah.
He literally went on a tear in that 4th quarter, and that kind of really just kind of blew the game open.
Yeah.
It was a close game, and then before you knew it, it was a 13-point lead. All thanks to mostly to Ellis.
He doesn't even talk.
He doesn't talk, man. He doesn't talk. He plays defense. And we talked about it at the table. Ellis is one of the few guys in this league where if you guys can call for a screen for him, he can turn his head, see where the screen is coming from, and then when you try to make a move, he slides his feet, he's already there.
Yeah.
And then, boom, it's a turnover.
Yeah.
That's literally what happened.
And I think he's a lot physically stronger than people probably think too, because he could bust through screens too.
Yeah.
He just
had a block last week. We're gonna let that
one. And he just had a really good game. Like I said, him and Rashawn kind of started going back and forth. And Rashawn wasn't loud with his trash talking, but he was saying something to Ellis. And when I saw Ellis kind of definitively kind of talk back to him, I was like, he never does that.
Yeah, he doesn't talk.
And guys like him, that may take them out their game. doing that talking. But no, it kind of made him seek and destroy.
He turned up.
He really turned up, and like I said, they just didn't have enough to be able to match him. Because once he started going off, and like I said, Rashawn has enough usually in his game where he kind of could match some of the top players, but Ellis kind of got going tonight. It was just, and but think about it, he started well.
Yeah.
So when he started really well like that, I think that's why Rashawn talked to him, thinking I'm trying to get him out of his game, but he kind of made it worse.
It's a bad idea.
You know what I'm saying? Ellis cooled off in the second and third quarter, just playing. You know what I'm saying? But then Rashawn kind of started going back and forth for him, then it kind of got bad. And Eric had his usual, did what he does. He kind of saw a guy that was bigger and lankier on him, beat up his shot a couple times, and all of a sudden I saw Eric start putting his shoulder into to the guy's chest and scored on him. But getting back to Ellis, man, when he got the proper help, Bach didn't have a great game.
Yeah, good enough game.
But he had a good enough game, and then Ellis just kind of was he was unstoppable in that fourth quarter. Just say that much.
Yeah. And for you said Lightfoot?
Light, man, in a losing effort, man.
He's best shooting performance we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's definitely here. I can't speak what he has done anywhere else.
Yeah.
But he's not known as a shooter. And I would definitely say he probably made 6 or 7 threes tonight.
Yeah.
And I would say 6 of them were in the second half.
Yeah.
When he started banking threes in, I was like, yeah, it's bad. It's going to get really bad for you.
They started going straight in.
And then they started going in, they're just going swish. He was just splashing it. I was just like, yeah, he's in trouble. Because when he gets downhill, we already know that's a problem.
Can't deal with him.
You can't deal with him. So he was definitely doing that too. But when he started making those threes, I was just like, they ain't nothing. And then that's when I started believing. They actually may win this game.
Yeah, because they literally came back because he started hitting them threes.
Yeah, and I was just like, he's making those shots, and they can't stop him. And I don't think they're going to be able to stop him.
He hit a shot. I don't know. That was I think that was the last point. He hit a three that some might argue could have been a 4-point play at the end of the game. So that he was on.
He was on. Yeah, he did. It was a tough shot. It's like he had his butt sticking out, trying to lean into somebody, and still made it. And cut it to the 1-point game. I think
that was one.
It made cut to one. Yeah, so they would gave him that foul. He would have had opportunity to tie the game.
He's a good free throw shooter.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he made all his free throws tonight.
Yeah, man. So he had definitely had his best shooting game ever here in Cypress. So shout out to him, man, because he definitely was in his bag off the dribble and with the jump shot.
Yeah, sure. All right, now, sorry, not sorry, and I know what you guys are thinking. Kev, you said it was all good games tonight. Who could you possibly nominate for sorry in this sorry, not sorry segment? Well, it's not who you think it is. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all sorry tonight.
Yeah, that god awful.
That was terrible.
That's terrible, man.
Yeah, you know what? And I thought about it. I said, and I know this is not Ultimate Hoops related, but I had to go back. I'm like, you know what? This is the second year in a row that Anthony Edwards is going to go out in the conference finals in Game 5. Not at home.
Right.
But, I mean, it was still a really bad game.
Right.
20-plus points. I had to go check.
Well, I will say this. Great season for Minnesota, right? There was low expectations coming in. Another assist and finish here by Lively. But more importantly, Dallas moving on to the finals here.
Dallas. Holmgren goes inside. Aaron throws it down. As Reed trying to get aggressive. Another turnover.
You quit. You know what I'm saying? And I think about this, like in a playoff series, you know everything that the other team is running at this point. By Game 5.
I was like, Game 5, you should know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Really by Game 3, you know everything. That's why they always say, the series really starts when somebody beats somebody on their home floor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because that means that whoever your superstar player is, because that's why, to be honest with you, that's why the superstar players get paid so much. Because
so the series started Game 4?
Yeah.
Down 3-1?
Yeah, down 3-1. They get paid so much because as a coach, I know how to stop you at this point. As you as a coach, you know how to stop me at this point.
Yeah.
I know everything you run. I know everything you're doing. Like we've played each other 4 games now.
Now it's just time to get stops and make shots.
It's get stops and make shots. So that's when my stud figures out I'm going to score anyway.
Yeah.
no matter what, you know what I'm doing, but I'm still gonna score. You know what I'm saying? That's why, like, Jordan's the GOAT because this is why people say that he's GOAT.
He is the GOAT.
Yeah, is because like in the playoffs, all his averages went up. He's like one of the few players ever in history where his playoff averages are higher
They went way up too
than his regular season averages, which is his regular season average is already insane. His PER all time in a regular season is already higher than everybody else's, and it went up in the playoffs.
Yeah, he averaged 30 for his career.
Yeah, in the playoffs, he averages 33,
34.
Yeah,
like that.
So it's like again, so again, getting back to the original point with the Minnesota, for you get beat by 40 in a playoff game, you shouldn't be losing. You getting blown out.
I don't care if you're at home on the road.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
You shouldn't be getting blown out really after game 3 or 4. Realistically, so for you go show up and be beat by 40, you're sorry.
Hey, so there you have it. Nobody from Ultimate Hoops sorry tonight. Now, not sorry, Sean. Who you got?
Man, like, it was a lot of good candidates tonight, man. But I'm gonna really have to give a shout out to your boys, Light Work. They started off 0-3, and we were starting to dig the grave already. We didn't put them 6 feet deep. We didn't put them in the grave yet, but we definitely were digging it.
Then we remember that Chris was on the team.
Yeah.
And no matter what,
it's gonna go 5-3.
Gotta finish 5-3.
He's gonna finish 5-3. Chris, no matter what, Chris McDonald, no matter what team he's on, he's gonna finish 5-3. And they started 0-3, so I guess they gotta win 5 games in a row.
Out of that schedule, it looks like it's possible.
And it is possible now when you're looking at it. But nah, man, shout out to them, man. Like, like I said, Hoosier Daddy had an amazing win today. Chances had another great win. Both those teams, I think, have been a part of the Not Sorry crew. But Light Work, man, I'm gonna have to give them credit because I think you've had them on your sorry list before, and they're showing up, they're showing out, and the last couple weeks they've beat 2 really, really, really good. So they beat Hip Hop and Roll last week while Hip Hop and Roll was 2-1.
Yep.
Then come in this week and beat an undefeated team in the Bullets. Mm-hmm. I mean, you beat 2 really good teams, man, coming off really good wins, and you kind of handled both of them. So I think it's a shout out to them and what they're possibly going to be, and I think if this iteration of them that we saw today, if they're going to play like this, how they played the last 2 weeks, why wouldn't they be a title contender? 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have dared had that.
I don't care what you did the season before.
Yeah, I wouldn't have dared had said that.
After that start.
But these last 2 weeks, man, we might have to start putting them in that title contender list again, man, because they've definitely had 2 really impressive weeks.
We showed them love. Power rankings, we talked about they're going to make a deep run. It seems like they're trending in that direction for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, now for our Who You With segment, Week 5 edition. We got our 4 games. We got Bullets versus Chances. Sean, who you got for that one?
Man, that's a tough game.
It is a tough one. 2 teams that kind of having similar seasons, 3-2, 3-1.
Yeah.
That's a tough game.
Just judging off this week, completely off this week, I must say Chances. Even though I think the Bullets have more firepower, possibly. If Bach and that version of Ellis that I saw tonight show up, and this thing about it, Eric gonna do what Eric does. Eric will give you about 20, 13, 14 rebounds and 8 to 10 assists. Mm-hmm. If he does that to go with what Ellis has been doing,
it's going to be a high-scoring game to win.
Yeah, it's going to be a high-scoring game, yeah. And that's the thing about which team get more stops. I'm going to say that maybe they have better individual defenders. I actually think team defense-wise, the Bullets are actually probably a little bit better. They actually rotate a little bit better. But
it's fair.
In a close game with time running down, it kind of is more dependent on your individual defender. And I think they have a little bit like Ellis on the perimeter, Eric, Ty. Yeah, that I think they have some individual defenders that are a little bit better. So I'm gonna take them 95-93 chances over the Bullets.
Okay, and I'm gonna go a close game as well. I'm actually gonna go the opposite just because one of us has to win this week. Who won last week, by the way? Did I beat you?
You beat me last week.
I did.
I want to say what you got. Win 3. Did you go 4-0? And I went 3-1.
I think so.
You've never gone 4-0.
Well, I have to go. I have to go check that. I just know I won by 1 because we had a different game.
Yeah,
and I was right on that game.
So you might have gone 3. I think you went 3-1. I
And
went
you went
2
and 2. Yeah, that probably sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be the game that we disagree on, just so somebody can win. I'm gonna go Bullets. I'm gonna say it's a high scoring game. I'll go 101 to 99.
Man, yeah, it's definitely high scoring. Yeah.
Okay. Crunch versus Hip Hop and Roll. That's another good one.
It's gonna be a good game too, man. I actually think the way that their teams are assembled,
Similar.
they're very I think they actually match up well. And if they have those wing defenders in Cam and Lightfoot and
Rose.
Rose, you know what? Especially with them. All right, I'm not gonna do it. I'm going to go Crunch. In a well played game, I'm actually go Crunch here, 79-77. Another 2-point game.
Yeah, I also go Crunch. I'll say 81-80.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's gonna go down to the wire. Okay, Light Work versus Top Dogs.
I mean, I'm gonna Light Work here, man. They're on even though I think Top Dogs has the possible ability to have an upset here.
They don't have an answer for Alex.
No. But again, it's kind of very dependent on them being able to make shots. So I'm gonna go. I'm definitely gonna go Light Work here. 90-87.
And I will also go Light Work. I'll say they win 87-81.
Okay.
Final game of the night, Who's Your Daddy versus More Friends.
Ooh, man. Shout out to Mo and Friends, man, because I think they're capable of upset. I think they're capable of upset.
This week?
I think they're capable of upset. And I just think it really comes down to them getting stops. Because I don't think they even though I think they did today. But I just didn't like their effort defense in the week before. So I'm assuming I'm gonna go more. No, my bad. I almost said it. I'm gonna go Who's Your Daddy. I'll go Who's Your Daddy here, 88-82.
I'm gonna go Who's Your Daddy. And because of the fight that Mo and Friends showed today, I'm gonna give them some respect. I'm gonna say that they're not gonna get beat in an embarrassing fashion. Don't make a fool of me. I'm gonna say they lose 102 to 91.
Okay, that's respectable for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them
because you're pretty ridiculous a lot of times. So that's actually pretty.
I learned my lesson this season. There hasn't been very many blowouts.
It's been very competitive, man.
Yeah.
Guys are actually getting out there.
I thought Crunch might handle them tonight, and that wasn't the case.
No, they actually it was within 6 with like 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's a close game.
Close game. By the way, you give Eric week 3 player of the week, Eric Parrish. Give him a shout out, man. We don't talk about this enough. But the guy had 23 points and like 28 rebounds. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Almost got the.
That's week 4.
Yeah, actually week 4 player of the week. I almost set the rebounding record. So yeah, just shout out to him, man. I think you said Joe had the rebound record.
Yeah, I think Joe had like 30.
Yeah, like a 30 rebound game. So shout out to Joe, man.
Something insane.
I hope your back's feeling better, man. I know your back went out, but no, Eric Parrish game player of the week 4 to 23 and 28. Ridiculous.
Okay. I had to look up the name of this this page. It's actually pretty funny. Now for our trending topic, we have 2 topics tonight. Our first one's going to be Angel Reese Betts.
Yeah.
Okay, so the page is called Stadium Live. I don't know if that's I'm not sure if that is the name of their sports book or the name of their app, but yeah, it's called Stadium Live. Stadium Live, they've been placing bets on Angel Reese to miss her first shot, and they have been cashing in like crazy. I think the most recent bet that I saw, they won like $250,000.
Jesus Christ.
So they're hot right now. I believe it's 4 games where I haven't checked their page.
They be going crazy too
tonight, and every time they win, they're going nuts, and it's funny. But again, to me, it's jokes. But all jokes aside, this is a thing, And I'm a gambler. Like I'm not as heavy a gambler as I used to be.
Yes.
But I do dibble and dabble every now and then. Angel Reese, you have to tighten up because guys are profiting off of your mishaps. And not just, some people are saying, hey, they're going to lose, they're going to lose the game. Some people are saying, she's going to do this, she's going to do that. They're saying that you can't make your first shot. And they know that your first shot is likely going to be a layup.
Yeah.
It's kind of a slap in the face.
Yeah. I think.
Speaking of sorry, not sorry. Now go ahead.
Yeah. No, she definitely gonna have to tighten it up, man. And no, it is hilarious. Actually, looking at the actual video of them,
it's funny,
going
especially
nuts.
The music.
Yeah, with the music, them going nuts at her.
Oh, man.
On that particular bet, the fact that that's even a bet.
Oh man,
even that's even up on the chart. Yeah,
and I'm ridiculous. Surprised guys are making so much money that they still have it on there.
Yeah,
like Vegas is taking a hit. They should probably take it off. No, don't take it off. Leave it on. Let them guys cook.
Yeah, like that's pretty ridiculous, man. But I'm gonna be short with this, man. I'm actually because she's had a rough couple of weeks since the season started. As far as like kind of some of the coverage she's gotten, is what's crazy. It's for men, because at the end of the day, enough women don't watch the games anymore. They just cheer for the people based off their name. But
women don't really watch sports like that. And that's what it is. So the biggest fan base for the WNBA is men because we like sports.
Because we actually like sports. And unfortunately, that sucks for the women's league because they probably need women to actually really support the league, by watching it.
And we're going to critique it.
And but unfortunately, men are watching it, and they have a lot to say about the games. Yeah. But I'm actually be a cheerleader for Angel Reese because she went from I felt like maybe an overrated player maybe a year ago, even when I saw her at LSU, but maybe she was a little bit overrated.
I thought she was better at LSU.
To where I feel like now she's underrated because what she does is extremely high level still as far as the rebounding, even the scoring. Like people don't realize, like last year she averaged 14 and 13. Go look up how many WNBA players are averaging 14 and 13.
What was her shooting percentage?
No, we'll get to that.
I'm just curious. I just want to know.
No, I think it was like 39, 38 or 39.
Okay, good.
Which is, for post players, it's not very good. But she struggles scoring around the basket, unfortunately. Efficiently scoring around the basket. She still has to put up points, but again, like I said, she doesn't officially score around the basket, which is something I feel like she can work on. But her problem is she doesn't get off the ground on her shot attempts.
Tries to shoot it from a standstill.
Yeah, and that's, I don't care. Play basketball from knee high to to professional. When you can't get off the ground to finish, you're going to struggle finishing around the rim.
And you're 6'5".
You're
not 7 foot.
Yeah.
So hey, somebody 6'6" guarding you, they don't even have to jump, and that's what happened the other week.
Yeah.
You get a shot block, she didn't even have to jump.
Yeah, and so she has to. Don't come off one leg. Even if you coming off 2 every time, but you're powering up to finish, hell, that's what you're gonna have to do. But she has to get better at. She's not gonna get better at finishing around the rim if she doesn't get off the ground. She has to figure out a way to get off the ground so she can finish. And that's even me. I don't even play that much anymore. When I'm just kind of being lackadaisical, not jumping off the ground on my layups, I miss them.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You have to get some lift. You have to get some lift and actually jump off the ground to try to finish. And it's just not there yet. And that's why, in general, women miss more layups than men because they can't jump as high. You know what I'm saying? So that's what.
But it's nice to actually jump.
But it's nice to actually jump, though. In her case, she's not getting off the ground. She's not getting that lift. And I almost wonder because I think she got a steel rod put in her leg years ago. I wonder if that's starting to be an issue now.
Might be.
You never know. But regardless, I'm a keep cheering for her. She's young. Hopefully, this is something she can eventually fix, and so people can stop making fun of her because I actually think she is talented, and she does have some skill. People kill her that she doesn't have skill. She actually has some skill, but she just is struggling tremendously being efficient around the rim right now.
Yeah, she makes that first layup, then that page is going to be useless, right? You have to find somebody else to pick on.
I mean, look, man, I'm all about getting money. You know, I ain't gonna lie. I might have to go ahead and take that bit too.
Might take it too.
Granted, I don't have $50,000 put up, but
I can put a cool dub on it. See where it takes me.
Could you imagine putting $50,000 up and then she go out there and make her first layup though?
Well, see, that's the kind of stuff that'll happen to me. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as I put this bet in, y'all are done. Yeah, it's over for y'all. So I'm gonna sit back and let y'all cook because I'm bad juju in those situations. Now, our last topic for the night, we have Travis Hunter. Got married.
Yeah, he did.
To Liana Lene.
Lene.
Yeah. That you say her name? Yeah. So he got married, and it's a big topic of discussion right now in Shade Room and all your pages, the hip hop pages, your culture pages that are kind of following the situation. For me, my biggest takeaway isn't that he got married to her, even though she's constantly made a fool of him. In my opinion, just my opinion.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway was that he did not get a prenup. So
yeah, I think we 100% know yet, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Reports are that he did not.
Yeah, and I mean I wouldn't be surprised.
That I'm saying it doesn't. That's my biggest takeaway. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
but it's my biggest thing that I've noticed. I'm just like, okay, so you just, I don't know.
Yeah,
you just don't care.
Don't care.
Not protecting your assets. It's not a smart move.
It's not a smart move. And I think he has mentorship from, I think some good people like Dion, who had a prenup for his.
And Dion told him to get a prenup on camera.
Yeah. But again, we don't know yet 100%. But that tells me how much in love he is with this woman, though. Because, I mean, he's had mentorship. Because it's one thing for me and you to be saying, hey, you should do this, you should do that. He don't know us. But I think, he looks up and respects Deion Sanders a lot.
Do you think Sierra and Russell Wilson got a prenup?
I wouldn't. The way he acts, I would think no. But
pretty sure he does.
I'm pretty sure he does. Though.
Yeah. Because, and look how they act.
Yeah, and then they're in love. But I'm pretty sure he understood. And she's been in the industry long enough too, where she understands as well. But she probably was like, "No, we need to do this."
You got to protect your assets, man. Nothing is guaranteed. Listen. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm not telling you how to love. But at the end of the day, the statistics are the statistics. What is it? 50% of marriages end in divorce. 50% end in divorce. So, I mean, that's a flip of a coin.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to risk half what you've earned, what you worked your whole life for? Because you're gonna get half. Doesn't matter how it ends. Doesn't matter if you say, you know what, we should just go our separate ways. It's nothing really, you ain't do nothing, you ain't cheat on me. Okay, well, I'm gonna take half. That's what they're gonna do.
And like that's even with like Scottie Pippen with his ex-wife Larsa Pippen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think she's getting a piece of his pension now. That's insane.
And he just didn't want to be with her no more.
That's insane.
Nothing went wrong. There was no infidelities. He just didn't want to be with her no more. Now she's getting half.
Like for someone to get part of your pension that at the end of the day they didn't help you attain. That's tough, man.
Yeah, me and my wife was talking the other day. She was like, "So would you have gotten a prenup with me?" I was like, "If I was rich, yes." Yeah. She was like, "Oh, you would have? Well, we wouldn't have been together." I was like, "Well, luckily we ain't got to worry about the problems. We ain't got to worry about that because I ain't rich."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't get much affection in that. I imagine.
I don't even remember. I could even tell you, but I was just like, I mean, that's just common sense. And honestly, like if I'm a regular dude, if I'm a let's say I still got my same job, I'm an athletic director, teacher, and she's a music artist. She's like, I'm tired of these street dudes, I'm tired of these athletes. Let me just get a regular dude. And she's a multimillionaire. I wouldn't be like, yeah, baby, we shouldn't get a prenup. I'm like, yeah, that's probably best.
Yeah,
it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, as you get older,
because I'm gonna take you for half your money.
Yeah, as we get older, man, you just make more sound, logical decisions. And when you're his age, 20, 21 years old, and not to mention, let's call it what it is. He seems a little green,
Very green.
And he's a goofball, man.
Goofball. Very naive.
Very naive. He's a little bit of goofball, cornball, which is, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it just is what it is. So like, unfortunately, people like that can be taken advantage of. But he's such a nice guy, man. He seems like a really nice kid. So, I hope it works. Well, his thing more than anything else, let's all pray that it works out for him, and that they're together for the next 50 years. Without any.
She don't take him for all his money. That's what the betting odds were saying.
Yeah, because I think we kind of forget too. Like these athletes, they have very short careers.
Especially in football.
Yeah, especially in football. You think it's something that they're doing for 30 years. No, they're done after about 8. You know what I'm saying? So it's.
What do you think are better odds? Andrew Reese making her next layup, or she taking Trav for all his bread?
Well, coin flip. Coin flip. It's a coin flip. It's a coin flip.
Who knows?
Oh man, no. But yeah, let's just pray that it does work out for him, though.
All right, episode 267 in the books. We had a great night of basketball tonight.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, week 6 will be very similar. I know 2 games that we anticipate will be.
Yeah.
And the other 2.
We'll see.
We hoping. We'll
hope
see.
it.
All right, live from Cypress, I'm Johnny Gill.
Sean Ellis.
We're out of here.